cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking up.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Motivation Monday. We back again 7 days later. You know what we do. You know how we do. We really appreciate, first and foremost, all of you who get on every week with us and enjoy our show. But we also enjoy those of you who come on later and watch it later. Grab those jewels and nuggets, add them to whatever you need to add to spice up your life or to spice up your train of thought, and move accordingly as you get through your week and through your life. So I just want to thank you. My name is Amir Sealy. The other gentleman who was just up on the biggest screen, he goes by the single name, just talent.
Yes, sir.
You know him, you love him. The man is an extraordinaire in so many places and so many different things. But we come here every week to, as he says, splatter some things on the wall, hopefully that you could take away from what we're talking about and add in the mix of what you're doing with how you see your life and how you're moving and shaking. So as always, we start off with talking about our weekend. So I'm going to start the ball rolling. I'm going to talk about my weekend first, and then I'm going to throw it to my partner. This weekend was one that I will just say was incredible, just from the standpoint of being able to be in some amazing people, be around some amazing people and be in some amazing company. As y'all know, this is February. February has so many, moods and swings to it. Black History Month, my birthday month, and so forth and so on. But I had the opportunity on Saturday to step out for a little bit and go hang out with my brother, which today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Lord Finesse, and salute to you, King. He had a birthday situation out in Jersey that was just incredible. The people who showed up, the music, the vibe, the energy was all that in a bag of chips. So salute and big ups to him. And then yesterday, I had the opportunity to ride into the city and mess with our girl Tammy Ford and her team. They did some of the city star, and again, just incredible vibe. Dope. It's like a sports bar, so they had the game on, people having burgers and fries and the music going, just like they was doing with the rooftop joint. And a lot of people came out, showed love at that. So again, just 2 days back to back of just good people being around each other, being able to vibe and enjoy and pour into each other, because there was a lot of that as well. A lot of our contemporaries were in the building, Big Said and Alamo and, just everybody. It was a smorgasbord.
I heard B Love was there. B Love came out.
Yeah, man. The surprise of the weekend for me, and this is, just again, real talk. So commotion happened. I'm looking at everybody come in. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Ice-T came by Lord Finesse's joint. Tretch, his normal crew, Digging in the Crates, Diamond D, and all those guys were there. But it was, that's the first time I've ever seen Ice-T up close and personal. Found out he's a fellow Aquarian, so I had to salute him, which was dope. Got a quick, picture with him, chopped it up for a little second. And, again, just those little nuggets and those little moments, man, just incredible when they happen organically and you have no idea that, that's what's going to, transpire. So just big up to everybody, man, and just a beautiful way, to close out my birthday week and, close out the Aquarian season. So
nice.
Big ups to everybody,
And I like Ice-T because if you ever get a chance to meet Ice-T people, brother's so cool. But see, a lot of times you meet people, especially East-West, like we meet people like, oh, he from the West Coast, or he from the East Coast. Ice-T don't give me that vibe. Ice-T just give me a cool dude vibe. And I ran into him 4 or 5 times, sometimes at the comedy shows, sometimes at different events, but he's always that same vibe. Just cool dude. I'm just a cool dude, down to earth, like you could tell the connection with, the common people, no matter what level you on, what walk of life. He's just a good damn dude. Shout out to him. Shout out to my man, Mickey. His right-hand man, those the art of comedy. They got the art of rap. Shout out to all those guys. Speaking of weekend, great weekend. I had a chance to work in where was I? I had a chance to work in Queens on Saturday with Kenny Williams.
Okay.
It was me, Kenny Williams, Smokey, another young lady. I forget her name escapes me right now. Our girl Lisa Ray for multiple sclerosis was in there with her poetry and her books and stuff. And it was a great night. It's a fucking in the if you Queens, you probably know it. And the Rochdale Ballroom is in between like these buildings, like almost like Co-op City. So you could easily miss it. You gotta know where you're going. I'm riding there. I'm in the Uber, like, where the fuck Kenny got me at, man? The fuck? And dude, go through the back door, bust out the other side of the back door, man. You're in the fucking Hammerstein Ballroom. I'm like, what the fuck? That was my opening shit of my show. I'm like, how you niggas steal a whole ballroom? It's impossible. But the show was stupendous. We was out late that night, got in late. That was Saturday. Yesterday got a chance to sleep in late. You know what I mean? Resolve, and just find find yourself mentally resolving and equaling and leveling out, like I call it, like a day of leveling out. Got to chop it up with some homies and some family. Yesterday, Sunday was dope. But the dopest thing that happened to me, and all that's dope, was waking up this morning and Verizon, because I've been having these phone issues with my main phone. So I got the backup phone. So I'm like, you know what? What I noticed is my number being compromised. I figure all this shit out on myself. I'm like, this number's compromised, but it got to be only on an Android system because my iPhone's fine. It just so happens that my iPhone ain't my most used phone when I do all my business. So I've been saying for about a week or two, I said, listen, I'm going to try this. This should work. Switch SIM cards. So the number that everybody knows is calling here, put that on my iPhone. And the number that I barely use, put that on the other phone. So I'm not missing work and missing important shit, right? So they wake me up with the call, Amir. This is how slow companies and corporations are. So I'm like, oh, so you're going to send it overnight the SIM cards? Motherfucker said, no, we don't have to do that no more. They got an eSIM. They do it electronically. Nobody got to leave their house. I ain't got to go to the store. They ain't got to come to me. I ain't got to you take out the SIM card that's in the phone, and you go off an eSIM card, right? So do all this shit, swap my shit out. My boy Quincy's excited. Oh, my God. That's crazy how they could do that. I said, stupid. That's the same shit the hackers did to get the shit in the first place. Only difference is these motherfuckers are behind the ball and fucking using the same technology that hackers did to use my fucking number, right? You just using it back. They just late to me. Like you late behind the hackers. Like, so I'm just grateful that that's what this week is going to be like for me. It's going to take a lot of getting used to because, like I said, you walk around with one phone all the time more than the other. So now you got to get used to the one that I don't use it more, transfer stuff over. That's going to take the rest of the month. I know that, but I'm grateful. And that's how I want to start the show. I do all that to say this. Grateful. Remember the word, because I think a lot of us use it, say it, know it, but don't really practice or feel it, and pay homage to it. And the show started. This is funny because for the people that don't know, when I clicked in before we came live to you guys, fucking Amir and Prophet Pete, super producer, they're in a conversation, and it sounds like where I'm coming on. I'm like, you motherfuckers got a camera in my office looking at me write shit down, like. And you'll see why in a minute, Amir and Pete. Oh, by the way, shout out to Shawn Harvey, who has a family thing to handle today, who won't be coming in on Motivation Monday. We'll see him next week. But I wake up right before the Verizon call. I see a text. I see a few texts. So I always look at the text first, see if any emergency something popped off. And this morning, lo and behold, I get a text from my comedian friend, Rob Stapleton, regarding our comedian friend in Atlanta, Coco Brown. Coco Brown yesterday had a fucking fire. Whole house burnt down. Whole house burnt down to the ground. I mean, like, that's it. She lost everything. Only thing she had is clothes on the back, keys to her car, and whatever's in her purse, like her ID and stuff like that. The main ID, the passport. She said all that shit's gone. My computer, everything. So she was the grace of God, she got out of there with her son. And this is what I mean by, being grateful. Just in the conversation with people, they tend to always say, I lost everything. I lost everything. And I kept reminding her, you didn't lose everything. You lost some things. Had you lost your son here, your young son here, had you lost your life, that's losing everything. Yeah. You have the most important things with you. Everything else can be rebuilt. This is a country that sells all that shit again. You can buy computers, you can buy this, you can get Wi-Fi, you can get it, blah, blah, blah. It may take a little time, but everything can be regurgitated again. So it put things in perspective all day. I'm sending the thing out because they got the fundraiser thing for her to help her start over. I spoke to her, I had to call a person. So the plan is she's going to grab a long-term Airbnb for her and her son until, the rest of this year, because they got to clean all that out. They got to dig over, do everything over and rebuild the house, whatever. So it made me think, like, when things like this happen, Amir, I always go into these little funky places mentally and just be quiet for a while and just circling things, things like I just said, being grateful and counting your blessings. We say these things all the time, but yet people still get caught up in the daily rigmarole and let it fall by the side. Counting your blessings mean whatever you got right now. Like me, I'm running around here. So I'm so behind in straightening and cleaning up in it because life won't let me fucking slow down as I want to. I'm always complaining about this shit. But guess what? All this shit around here that's cluttered and that I'm complaining about, I got this shit though. There's somebody like I just named one, a friend of mine. There's somebody that don't have or just lost these things that we're running around, because these things, however long it took me and however I acquired them, are blessings. It's a blessing to have it. When I bitch and moan about the light bulbs in here, you lucky you got electricity on right now, bro. You lucky you got light bulb. These people have to start over. Like, they got to find a place to live. Their friends got to come to the rescue and things like that. We need to count our blessings, be grateful, take time out to say, let me take an inventory. What I got? I got a lot of shit. And a lot of this shit, for whatever reason, we stopped counting. Little shit. You got 4 TVs in your house. Man, I ain't got that. We spend so much time sometimes concentrating on what we want. By next year, I want to have this kind of car. I want this kind of house. That I want to get the red bottoms. You so much energy on the forward, like you just said, not in the now. Mistaken and skipping over the now. Usually when people say time flies, it's because they skipped over a whole bunch of nows. You damn right time flying if you're not spending the time in the now. That's just a gimme. Everybody knows that. What do you think about that?
It's so funny. You made dropped so many jewels and so many valid points in that opening, dyad. I say this. First, let's address the now. For so many of us, you're absolutely right. We are always thinking, I need my 5-year and my 10-year and my 15-year plan. And you do need those. So I don't want anybody to not plan for the future or plan for what's to come. But what I think a lot of people don't understand is when you don't take a moment to be appreciative, to be grateful, as Talon stated, to be in what's happening to and for you now, you'll never get to that, because the universe, your higher power, higher being, is trying to see how grateful you are about what you have now. You can't get more if you don't even appreciate what you have right now, what is tangibly in front of you, what tangibly you can touch, feel, and or hear. So many people are of the mind frame and the mindset, I don't have enough friends. But you do have some friends. And even if it's 5, 10, 2, if they reach out to you every day, they check on you, or try to impart on you any kind of way to help you be better or to move forward, then you are doing greater than a good percentage of people in this world. I heard yesterday, I had the opportunity, like I said, to go to Tammy Ford's thing. One of her partners, who is part of her team, he came up to me, man, stopped me. He said, yo, I got to tell you, brother, those law of attractions you send me every day. He said, brother, you got me through a super dark period by sending those to me. And I said, oh, I'm happy for you, brother. I said, that's really what they for. It's not about me. I send them because for me and in my mind, I don't know what people are going through. But if you got something that at least comes through that hopefully could either change your mind frame and mindset for the day, switch up your energy or the way you're thinking about things, whatever that may be, then that's a win. Because there were people who don't have that. And that's unfortunately when we get the other calls, such and such took their life, or this person got so depressed that they started, doing things that they wouldn't ordinarily do. So again, I just always encourage us all, know that there's a tomorrow, yes, but be so in the present that you really appreciate and you drink in all of the beautiful things that every moment is presenting to you. The phone call, the text message that you didn't, think that you were going to get today, the promotion that you might have gotten, whatever it is. Like you said, when you look around and you see all the things that you may have in your apartment or in your home, be mindful and thankful that, one, you got a home. Two, you got a place to put that stuff. There were people out here who won't have a place to sleep tonight, may have to sleep on everything from the train to the platform to God knows where and what. But we don't look at what we have and what we've acquired and how we've acquired it and be grateful, because some weird thing in this place now and these platforms have told you that's not enough. Right. This isn't all there is. And it's not that there is a all or not. It's a, oh my God, right here, right now is what I do have. And again, I'm just grateful for it because it's going to give me the opportunity to have some amazing things as time continues to move. So please, like I said, if y'all don't do anything else, drink in those moments and be grateful. It's imperative. Like I can't quantify that more. You just mentioned, like you said, Coco Brown. I had the opportunity. I was looking on my phone a year or 2 years ago when she came to Salsa. I remember I took a picture with her and it happened to come up on my phone and I was looking like, wow. Moments that you look at. You look on your phone, you think to yourself like, oh my God, I forgot I took a picture with this person, or oh my God, I forgot I encountered this person, because it isn't always a deep conversation, but you don't know the impact that sometimes you have on the people that you meet. You might be the blessing for that day. You might be the person who helped this person go, you know what? Now I understand and appreciate why I do this. Talent, happens to be a, comedian. But I'm sure that the people come up to you sometimes and they remind you of moments that you might have forgotten. And you go, oh, snap, I forgot all about that. Wow. And it then gives you a sense of, yes, this is why I do what I do, because this allowed somebody to maybe move out of a space that could have been detrimental to them, or a group of people out of a space that could have been detrimental to them. And unbeknownst to me, I'm doing what I think is either my purpose, my job, whatever, title you want to give it. And I did it without looking for something in return. I did it because it's the right thing to do. I did it because it's how we're supposed to interact and react with one another. As human beings, the most godly and human-like thing we could do is just help each other. I don't get me wrong. I know the Bible thumpers and people want to run and I'm going to go and pray. All that's great. But sometimes you got to put action to those things. And action is simple. Phone calls, text messages, face-to-face, whatever it is. But you give that so that somebody knows, oh my God, the universe does have people who are trying to allow me to, move through this journey. Because the other thing that I'm saying about this journey of life is quick as heck. Because we all sit here and we go, such and such passed. They was 80 such, they gone too soon. Now, I'm not saying that's not gone too soon or not gone too soon, but the point is they had 8 decades here on this planet. I want y'all to think about that, because a decade is 10 years. We had 8 of those. That means they've had the opportunity to see some beautiful things and to be a part of and to watch the world change over a few different times. But y'all are so busy trying to not be in your moments. And that extends itself to the people who you're dating, the people who you're married to, whatever, your children. Take the moments to drink them in. Yes, they can be exhausting at times, but the other side of that is they cannot exist at all. And imagine how weird
I like what you hit on when you said, everybody wants to jump to the prayer warriors and everything. So, I was in my mind juggling. That's one of the things, the places I went to in my thoughts, religious versus spiritual. And they both need the same thing, like you just said. Yeah, prayer is good. I got nothing against prayer. I got nothing against God or the higher being or spirituality. But at the end of the day, I think it's a deal. I think we have a deal with our God. I think we got to deal with the higher force that says, I'm going to put these energies out here and the things in place, but you still got to do and meet me halfway. Your prayer don't mean you just sit there like this and wait for it to fall out the clouds. We got a part to do, clearly, and you got to stay on top of said part and get it done. That's your part. I'm going to move these other things so that by you doing that part, you have a way and a path and this, that, and the third. But yes, it goes both ways. You got a part like I got a part. I like to consider myself not religious, but more spiritual than anything. But I do understand and recognize a higher power. We grew up calling them God. Some people call them Allah, and all sorts of religions call it different names, Jehovah, and whatever. But that power that exists, I still feel there's a deal and a combination between my earthly being and this spiritual being coming together to make things possible, to heal things and make things be what they're going to be. I tell you one thing, in this new wave of people, I find it very interesting that the shit we talking about, you'll get cats all day, Amir. This shit will go one ear out the other. But those same people can't wait to tag you on Instagram with the so bright philosophical memes that come out. Shut the fuck up. You can't do this shit in real life, but you can sit on the gram and Facebook and find these little memes and beat them out there all day. Thoughts on this? Oh, true. Facts. How about all of that same shit is in you? All of that same shit is in you. Turn around, pay attention, shut the fuck up sometimes, learn, because we never stop learning. I tell people all the time, and people for some reason think they get to a certain age, we can't tell them that.
And that is a super mistake for so many of us, because to be fair, there is something to be learned in every moment that you truly take in. Like I said, this weekend in particular, just seeing some of the faces that I saw and, having the opportunity to talk to some of the people that I, spoke to. And each person poured in a different way. I had to laugh. One gentleman came up to me and said, Amir, man, I see you everywhere. He said, the one thing that I'm finding amazing about you is you're not aging. And I said, that's not true. I said, here's the difference. I said, for some reason, some of us believe and or think that we have to hold on to our youth. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with holding on to the ideology and the energy of being youth, because you should. I said, but there is absolutely something amazing about getting older because of what your experiences have been and your ability to then take said information and apply it and or share it. We're sitting here on a platform right now. Just think about this. We're sitting here on a platform right now that 15, 20 years ago didn't even exist. We wouldn't have been able to even have this conversation. Talent, myself, and all of the people who are watching and chiming in, we would have had to have been in the same room to have this same conversation. Think about that. So that shows you that the evolution of technology, the evolution of thinking and all that is in a constant flux. So because it's in a constant flux, hopefully what we're doing is understanding it and understanding how to use it and what ways to then present it so that it now has a greater effect on the grander picture and the broader scale. We only have but so much stuff that we could do in these little pockets, because at the end of the day, so many people are afraid to turn on their light. I saw all I do when I'm on my downtime is I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, but they're interviews and people who are speaking about what their experiences have been. And one of the things that I'm always impressed by is when people give a perspective of something that somebody doesn't think about. So I was watching, one of your comrades, Pierre, and he was interviewing the young lady who played Levita Alizé Jenkins on the Steve Harvey show. And he asked her, he said, he was trying not to say ghetto, and he was, going around it. She was like, go ahead and say the word. He said, well, do you think that playing that character, was unfair, this, that, the third? And she went on to say, and I had to agree with her. She said, we all know somebody who's like Levita Alizé Jenkins. She said, to be fair, I was her at a point in my life. And I think one of the things that we miss out on as human beings is this thinking that you're such a unicorn. And you are to some degree, because the universe, God, whatever your higher power, higher being made you specifically. But that doesn't mean that you can't have shared experiences with the greater collective. And that's where we falter. Your exclusive story is just that. But the greater collective is bits and pieces of all of it. So while you're sitting here thinking to yourself, I don't want to share certain things because nobody's going to care. Yes, somebody will care, because there'll be somebody who's gone through your experience or having dealt with some of the things that you've dealt with in a different format. But because you brought it to light, they now feel better about maybe bringing it to light for themselves. And that's what our job is, to help turn that light on in each and every one of us. It's Absolutely. Not to sit there and just be like, nah, I'm gonna keep it to myself. They say this and it sounds a bit morbid, but think about it. Every time you drive past, unfortunately, a cemetery, there are hundreds and thousands of people who had some of the greatest and brightest ideas and wonderful things to bring to the world, but they never did because they were afraid.
Yeah,
so I mean, who gets the benefit? So we gotta start opening our mouths. You got to start sharing. Now, I will say this. I will preface it by saying this. If for whatever reason you think it's a specific thing that you think is going to be amazing, then please do your due diligence and do the work necessary to protect whatever it is you're going to bring to the world that you may feel may have a profound effect. But everything else past that, share, talk. Be that person who somebody says, you know what, the way talent, rocks a baseball cap, I want to rock a baseball cap too. I know for me with the fedoras, y'all think I really started wearing fedoras because for me, I kept on saying to myself, I was like, I'm getting older. I was never a baseball hat fan. That's not that I can't wear them, but that just wasn't my thing. I was always Scully's or Tam, right. Something different. So when I got the opportunity to rock a fedora, and then I started thinking about my age, I was like, you know what? This is a beautiful way for me to hopefully show younger gentlemen, when you're making that transition from being what you feel to be, in the mix and everything, you're going to get older and the mix ain't going to always be what you want to be. So you transition in a way that now allows the next generation behind you to go, that's smooth. I like the way that they, kind of put that together. That doesn't mean you got to copy them and do it exactly. You add your flavor to it so that this way some other kid who might feel awkward about it says, oh, okay, this person is allowing me to feel a specific way. Right. I'll give you a classic example. Let me just give one more classic example. And this is, true. Y'all can look it up for yourselves. Kevin Garnett, I'll never forget when I finally, did meet him. And this was unfortunately after Malik had passed. I'll never forget. He told me, he said, Amir, when I was young, man, he said, I had your brother's posters and everything about your brother in half of my room, my bedroom as a young person. He said, because I had never seen anybody who looked like me. They were wiry, skinny, they were dark skinned. He said, but they were getting the job done. He said, and your brother was like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody who embodies that for me. He said, so when I saw that, I wanted to, he said, that's why I wear the number 21. He said, I wanted to rock my hair like your brother rocked his hair. He said, I wanted to go to St. John's. He said, now, obviously, some of that stuff didn't happen. But I say that to all of you because you don't know who you're inspiring with your sense of style. You don't know who you're inspiring with your beautiful words or sharing your experience. So I say that, please, y'all don't let that fall on deaf ears. Take that and put it into play for yourself.
Because let me tell you something, and it's very important. We talk about words falling on deaf ears. Words are. I think that we grew up with a kind of a. I understand the phrase, but it's kind of a misrepresentation of what we're conveying right now. You remember the shit, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt you, right? Remember that? They tell you
Yeah.
that. But it was more in place of a reverse psychology talking to a kid to so that they can push through these times, right? Because really, literally, it's all false. At the beginning part, yeah, sticks and stones will break your bones, but guess what? Words will hurt the shit out of you, and words can change the trajectory of said person that ingest those words or who they're intended for with malice, right? Perfect example. So last night there's a comedy show at Comedy in Harlem, and Face Man is on the show, our good friend.
Okay.
By the time they're doing the numbers, about to like start seating people and everything, Jamie and the guys down at the club realize, oh, you know what? This is going to be. We got a lot of our grown folks in it. You know what I mean? So a comedy needs to kind of not go crazy.
Yeah.
And so they didn't think it through when they hired Face, because you know how that mouth could be, right? So lo and behold, what happens? He's on stage and he's talking his stuff. He talks and he's been cracked or whatever. So there's a young lady and her aunt kind of towards the back where the DJ set up, far back, right? And I guess they're a little too loud for him. He hears them and he wants to address them. So like the whole Rob thing at Salsa. And he goes, hey, man, shut up over there, man. Go to show, whatever. So the older lady goes, oh, man, Face, chill out, man. We don't play with me because we go way, 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 way back. I know you from way, way back in the day, like that. So now, no, there's no malice in that. But him trying to be pervertedly funny says something to the effect of, oh, you used to suck my dick? Bruh. All hell broke loose. First he said, you smoke crack? No, I ain't smoking crack. You suck my dick? The guy said, hey, whoa, whoa. Comes up there, bum rushes the stage. Takes the mic, this is on video. Takes the mic, is up there, and in the midst of that, it's a nice, tight comedy club. So while she's standing in to front of the stage parts, I guess she's bumping or hitting one of the other patrons, and that's a thing. And you can see them pointing at each other and talking shit back and forth and everything. And my whole point is words in that. You could have handled that. I don't understand how. And this is where when people call you out of your profession and say you're not professional, you really can't argue with it if that's what you came up with to try to calm the situation. And all it is a couple of people you think talking a little too loud. Hey, can we calm it down? Get the show. And you keep going. But to say, especially if a person said to me, oh, T, I know you way, way back. And my mind going to be like, all right, I'm going to put on some brake pads because I don't know who that is. They know me from way back. Maybe they do. But my answer is not going to be, oh, word, used to suck my dick. Wrong answer. Words affect people. And thank God he was the next to last, from my understanding. Jimmy went up there, calmed it back down. He was hosting, brought up Drew Frazier, game over. But I'm just using that as a point of, I know this. And I'm in the business of what? Words. So being in the business of words, handed that baton of an orator, I know that I got in my crowds, nine times out of 10 are going to be predominantly women, right? So my words are not only going to count and matter, I'm going to use and choose them wisely. You got to really push the envelope for me to slice you up these days with my words, because a lot of the time it ain't even needed or warranted. I know we got this bravado thing built in us sometime where we really want to annihilate people. We want to be victorious and be seen as the all-out winner, all that stuff. There's a way to kill people with kindness and wit and smarts and intellect. I go on shows sometime, and you got the cocky comedians on the show with me, or obnoxious, or whatever they think that whatever this, that, and the third, and I just be quiet and I kill them with my jokes, my set. You thought you did something in your set. Then I go up there behind you and I erase everything you did. How about that? Everything you just did, nobody's thinking about you no more. Everybody's where's talent? He's by the bar. Nobody's getting an autograph, nobody's getting a picture because you don't exist no more. So I'm killing you inadvertently with a different type of reprimanding. And I think sometimes when we drop down to this primitive form of tongue lashing, if you will, we do ourselves a disservice as well. You know how many people I've seen talk themselves out of works and gigs because their vernacular, their vocabulary, who they said it in front of, blah, blah, blah. People like, oh, yeah, he's not good for this thing. You understand what I'm saying? Happens all the time. And I know we grew up with the sticks and stones theory, but that was to get you through your childhood, and so that you keep your mind right and finish your school and keep your grades up and come on home safe and all that. But as an adult, we don't apply that. That got to get thrown out the window. The second part of that, words that never hurt you, because they do. And matter of fact, as an older person, not only do they hurt you way more. Things stick when you get older. Things stick when you get old. You know how many fucking childhood or adolescence family and friends we had that we call ourselves falling out with? And I'll never speak to you again. Fuck you. And y'all get back together 2, 3, 4, 5 times because youth is different. Now, as you get older, these things have a different meaning. They stick different to the wall. It's not as easy as you may think it once was. And you got grown people that, in this case that I just gave you at the comedy club, this is a grown ass woman. We're already in our 50s. This lady got to be in her maybe 60s, 70s. You know what I mean? And for your answer to be that to this woman with her niece, you understand something?
It does.
A lot of times when disrespectful words come out, it's a combination of things that make it escalate. It's how you said it, where you said it, who you said it for, who was around, who heard it. These things compile to make a compilation of and a combination of my energy in return. You may pass me on the street, one-on-one. Bitch ass nigga. I go, it's cool. Bitch ass nigga, I heard you. All right, fam. I got you, bitch. Something simple like that, you keep it moving. I got you, bitch ass nigga, keep it moving. Same bitch ass nigga, I'm walking with grandma or girlfriend or the homies. That's going to come out different. That's going to take on a different energy in that moment in time, because now it's not just me. It's not just me saving face. Well, you know what? I'm not going to stoop to your level. You got it. I'm a bitch ass nigga, and keep it moving. Not with the girl in tow, wifey in tow. Not with my daughter or my kids or the baby mother or my mother. Or God damn it, God forbid, me and the homies. The homies are definitely going to be like, let's end this a different way. You know what I mean? So I think accountability in that part of the game. Just like going forward, Amir hit a nail on the head with that, and do your due diligence. I want to go into this next segment of the show. First of all, welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in late, Motivation Monday, full effect, doing what we do. Shawn Harvey's out this Monday. Be back returning next Monday. Amir Sealy, Talon Harris here, holding it down, splattering some things on the wall. Again, our prayers and money and efforts and everything going out to Atlanta, to our girl comrade and comedy comedian Coco Brown. This weekend had a terrible house fire. The house is gone. Everything's gone. She left, escaped with her son life, her life, clothes on their back. When I made the call, friends were taking them shopping to get toiletries and clothes and drawers, and you know what I mean? So if anybody's interested, and you have my social media, hit me in any inbox, messenger, and I can see your information if you want to help out. The fund is called Helping to Rebuild Coco Brown. All right. So shout out prayers to Coco Brown, comedian in Atlanta. Next thing I want to jump on which is a B part of what we already talking about, is distractions.
Mhm.
Distractions. And what made me think about this week in particular, Amir, is 2 or 3 things came up that people. This is how I know I'm so funny in my own world, right? Like a week don't go by where I'll hear about something it's already going in motion, and I'll be like, "What?" And then I gotta go get it, find it, talk about it, whatever case may be. So because that's how focused I am on my world and what I'm doing. You guys that hear it as soon as it hit the fan, what are you doing? How are you so open and free to get this shit when it happens? So shout out to comedian Mike Epps and Club Shay Shay's
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp and them made up, took some pictures, put it on social media. All right. You know what's funny? This is proof in the pudding of how people got to get better. We got to do better. And put a bunch of pictures up. Yeah, we cool, shake hands, boom. No heat, no viralness of it, no 2 million views. The minute somebody said, I'm gonna see you, nigga, in Indianapolis, shit went viral. Oh, he called him out. He gonna see him. We love the fucking negatives. Actually, we love the distractions. We welcome the distractions, and then we wonder why we can't get shit done. You're too busy being distracted. Then I take a nap. I get up. Oh, Kelly Rowland ain't do that. Kelly Rowland, what the fuck happened? My mind started one. Kelly Rowland smacked shit out of Beyonce. What happened? I go find Kelly Rowland. This shit wasn't even worthy, my time. Oh, she didn't like her dressing room on the Today Show. People are driving me crazy with this. Perhaps, just perhaps, if you have time for all of these little distractions, just coming out ping pong, the fuck is going on in your life? What's going on in your life that's so nothing that you can follow Monique's whole life?
So, couple of things. First off, Talon is absolutely right. The one thing that I find disturbing or challenging, I should say, for me with social media is just that. If it is something negative, one, it gets a viral nod and it goes, crazy over, like you said, every platform, everybody's talking about it, so forth and so on. Yet, when you may be trying to do something that would be positive, whatever that may be, because I know for a good portion of us, we may have people who we reach out to on a regular basis on these various platforms. And they're people that you reach out to all the time. All of a sudden you look up or somebody might, message you and go, hey, I haven't gotten anything from you in a while. And you thinking to yourself, well, you wasn't in the 150 people I send stuff to every day. But the craziness about it and what I'm finding is I really don't think that social media wants us to be social. I know that sounds messed up, but when you think about the way that they are divulging information per se, when it comes to the broader picture and the bigger ideology of us hopefully coming away from it with positivity in a lot of ways, because don't get me wrong, I'm all for the good joke, just like everybody else. Something funny is, like you said, seen or whatever, and you kind of laugh and be like, oh my God, that was off the chain or whatever. But by the same token, I'm also for the Trina Pinkett's, because I saw her name pop up, and the Alfreda Jacksons. I'm all for them sending me things that also build me, also help me grow, also help me be in a better headspace, be a better human being. We find this joy in all this stuff that tears us down. And for the life of me, I don't understand it, because at the end of the day, you don't gain anything by watching somebody else or tearing somebody else down. You really don't. I promise you, you don't. Now, if somebody falters on their own and you have nothing to do with it and you take a moment to recognize it or acknowledge it, that's one thing. But when you honestly, openly go to tear somebody down or tear somebody up, what is there to be gained? At the end of the day, their demise was coming to a situation regardless. Like, you didn't have to say anything. they were going down that pathway anyway, just based off of their unfortunate actions to that point. So I just ask that everybody, do a better job of being empathetic and sympathetic to one another, because we could all sit here and pick simple things about each other that we don't like and that we think are, so horrible and so terrible, when in reality, they're minor things. I spend so much of my time now looking at the heart of people. Like you said, you mentioned Bernadette. I met another young lady named Jamie B. At Lord Finesse's thing, who I've had the opportunity to, get on Instagram with and, chop it up with her. But that was my first time actually meeting her. And I'm always amazed. And I say this to y'all, and I mean this humbly. Even when I'm out and people come up and they go A-Rock or whatever, sometimes, yes, the names are flying by and we can see, I don't know everybody's names. Hell, I got friends. Name is Mike Jones. On here, he's, Kool-Aid 77. Mike, that's not your name. So I don't know that you was T, doesn't that, and I'm not mad. It just throws me though, because they be like, Amir, I be on the show all the time.
But they get mad at you, Amir, because you ain't say none of them. I don't know what the fuck that is. Leroy jeans in the junkyard.
So I mean, like I said, if y'all look on all my social media platforms, I have either my name or derivative of my name, so that hopefully y'all know it's me. I don't get me. I get it. Y'all want to be in these spaces where y'all are these, fictitious people, and that's fine. But for the people who know you, and there are a good portion of people who on all of your social media platforms actually know you, it gets to be a bit quirky because they can't figure that out. I don't have the time to sit here and go, wait a minute, I think that was Sharon.
Right. Right.
So and if you are on, then do the right thing and put in your right situation. Hey, yo, Amir, what's up, man? This is such. So then I can go, okay, I equate the two now. Again, I just pray that we start to do a much better job of understanding that, spiritually speaking, as Talon just shared with you, there are things that are going to be coming your way and coming past you. And it's going to seem like it's coming in light speed, but it's really not. It's the prayers. It's the vision boards that you guys have made. It's the journaling that you're doing, that you've been asking the universe to give you or allow you to partake and be a part of certain things. Don't miss those blessings because it didn't come in a way that you thought it was going to come. It came. It just had a different dressing to it. It's like going into the supermarket now. Some of the people who watch this show, we all grew up the same time. We had only a few cereals: Dig 'em Smacks, Cheerios, the regular ones, shredded wheat, and cornflakes. Now, Tony the Tiger was around, but let's be fair, most of us just had cornflakes with about that much sugar in the bottom of the bowl because we were making our own we were making our own frosted flakes. But I share these things with us because that's what I'm trying to tell you. The world is, again, constantly evolving. You got to evolve with it. Don't sit around and be so stuck in your ways and so single-minded and so, focused in a way that doesn't allow you to see that there are other things that can help you build and or get to the spaces and places that you're trying to get to. I had a great conversation with, one of our friends this weekend who told me she had a wonderful idea that, she wants to bring to the world. And I said, well, first write it down, then find out how you can make sure it can't be stolen from you. And then after that, you start to think about all the other things. I said, but the best part is to write it down first so that you got it locked and barreled, stopped, so that now you know for a fact, okay, nobody can take this away from me. So many of us are under the impression, if y'all haven't seen it, look at the amount of African Americans who have had ideas stolen from them. There's the gentleman who says that Good Times, the Jeffersons, and so forth and so on was taken from him. He, is made his peace. He said what he's had to say. Whether you believe him or don't believe him, it is what it is. There's now the nice lady who's responsible for the Matrix and apparently the Terminator and all of that stuff. And it was a sister. Look, I say that again to say that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The world is a bigger connective tissue than we think it to be. Now, you might not get into or be a part of connections until later in life, But unfortunately, some of us just got to be connected early. Talent and I, we smile. You know, y'all see and hear us on here talking all the time. But Talent, when we first started this, and this was especially in the pandemic, he was the first to tell y'all. Y'all don't understand. When I first went out to LA, Malik Sealy was one of the first people to embrace me and kind of show me around and at least introduce me to key people and key things so that I could get my footing together and then, you know, make my mark on the world. Because of that, we've got 30 plus years of friendship. Malik's been gone 24, so y'all do the math. This year marks 24 years since he's gone. But that friendship has allowed Talent and I to go into other spaces and to make the connections through other people and through other things because of how amazing we've just managed to always stay true to ourselves. We've managed to always, you know, give the best of ourselves that we could give and appreciate, as we started this thing with, appreciate each other, appreciate the moments. I look on my phone sometimes and I'm amazed at some of the pictures that I have, and I'm like, oh my God, wow.
Me too. But what we got in common, Amir, and why guys like us are able to click and continue to click for a duration of time is because simple stuff like we know who we are. You know, we built who we are. We know who we are, and we're happy with who we are, right? I do a simple system with myself in the universe. Make sure you do 5-10 times much good as anything bad you'll ever find yourself doing. As long as you continue to live that way, you way more balance things out. The problem with a lot of negativity is it shines through because we don't have enough balance. This has been an argument at more. It came around. I would say hip hop turned 50 years. I would say every other decade, so 3 times at least, we've dealt with the unbalancing of the music. Right? When music becomes unbalanced, that's the only reason that guys like our age are, oh, this music's trash, blah, blah, blah. It has a lot to do with you're just pushing one thing and one agenda. There's no hidden love songs or hidden lyrics. The lyrics are straightforward. My booty hole brown. You know, stick where your dick at. I listened to one a Jamaican young lady that performed at Mingles past weekend. And I'm like, oh, let me go check it out. She got a packed house. And I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, Jesus. Opening line. She fucking the nigga. Open line. You know what I mean? I got something to fuck and doing this shit with the dick in it. And I'm like, balance throws things off. Whenever there's no balance and it's too much of one thing, I'm not against anything. Whatever you like, cool. All I ask for is that whoever the powers that be that funnel this stuff out, put a balance out. You want to put the fuck me in the mouth song out? Give me a nice love song, Walk on the Beat song. You want to put the Fight the Power out? Cool. Give me a little good party rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Give me a feel good music. Give me some thanks for my child, songs like that. Give me my mom, Sadie, early one Sunday morning. Balance. As long as we got all these different balances, the world is a mirror and action of music and activity. All of entertainment, if it doesn't balance, the world becomes unbalanced, as you can see. What we're doing. As you can see, we're very unbalanced right now. And it's a tribute to our entertainment, whether it's the way the movies that they're pushing in your face, whether it's the music, rap, rock and roll, country, or whether it's fucking the comedian, like I just said, did you suck my dick back in the day? You know, all of these things combined tilt the balance or lack thereof. Yeah. And we need that balance. Now, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Last topic is pet peeves, right? So one of my pet peeves is people at the jobs with attitudes. Now, don't get me wrong. The exceptions to this rule are you got something to be upset at the job. Job done demoted you, and fucked your check up, can't whatever, transferring you, or you got fired, whatever the case may be. You have a work grievance and a reason to sit there with an attitude. But too many of y'all got an attitude for no fucking reason. I didn't pick this job for you. You filled out this application, nigga. We didn't interview. And I was just telling Rick the other night at the show, and I said, and Rick and Aldo, and I'm like, you know, because you know what I don't miss? I thought I would miss, but I actually don't now. I really thought when they said they were going to make the peopleless tolls, like get rid of the people and have the automatic toll. I didn't like it. And I had a premonition of why I didn't like it is because all I could think of was like Easy Pass, right? And I remember when I was one of the first niggas to jump on the Easy Pass, put on your credit card, blah, 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 blah. And in doing that, I just always felt like they were ripping you off because I'm looking at your printout. I know how many times I went across the bridge. This is not it. And I'm like, how do I, there's no way because there's no people. There's no way for me to fight this. It's everything's a computer virtual to this, and I got to pay it or they're going to fuck my card up, right? So I was against it at first. But in hindsight, years past and years removed now, don't miss it. Because the one thing I used to hate is the fucking attitudes of the people.
And the
I was
lines.
saying that because I'm thinking of, oh my God, people are going to lose jobs. But I used to, if I had $1 every time I pull up to the thing, and it's a kind of a lonesome kind of job. So me being a comedian, I try to do a little cheery thing every time, never fail. Hey, what's up? How's your day out? Give me the fucking money. All right. And every time I pull up, I go, this motherfucker right here. Nigga, I didn't do nothing to you. You picked this fucking job. It's like the fucking joke I do, the COVID joke, nigga, the basement apartment. Nigga, you picked this apartment. $50 for it.
True story. It's funny because you're absolutely right. We have got to work on that. I think that people are so engrossed in looking at things from standpoints and spaces and places that have a negative connotation that it's not fair. You're right. Balance is sorely needed. Even when you look at certain things, like I didn't watch any of the real all-star things that just happened, to be honest. But I did see a interesting interview that happened with Kobe. He was with the two knucklehead dudes, and he said something that really made sense to me. He said he really thinks that the All-Star game needs to go back to being the All-Star game where these guys battle. Because to be fair, talent, we've always looked at the All-Star game as a battle of the titans of the game. So I don't want to get in. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So that's not what I'm talking about. But I do want to see
competition.
Bring that competition, because this is the greatest pickup game we'll ever witness, unless you're a part of one playing either at Chelsea Piers or at UCLA, because UCLA, that's where they used to have all the great dope pickup games. Every entertainer used to be in there, and I know because I was a part of some of them. We got Brian McKnight in here, we got some of the members of Boys II Men, and we all in here playing, and you like, nobody would ever believe that these games ever went down, but they did. But I say that to say that you're absolutely right. The balance is so off and is giving us this unfair energy, because that's what the unbalancing of things does. It leads to a specific energy that then, as you just said, mirrors the world. So now we have all of this angst, all of this animosity and all these things because we don't have what would make the situation be able to go, okay, this is balanced out. Like you said, I was over here in the negativity for a minute, but I then slid over here to positivity, and thankfully it's got me back on track. The one thing that I'm, acutely aware of, especially when it comes to the music from the generations of us and earlier than us, is exactly what you said. I look now and I'm happy to listen to music from the 50s, from the 60s, from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I know, a lot of people like the 90s, and I'm like, I'm not going to take anything away from the 90s, but you can't act like there wasn't music dope in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s, and even the 50s, because that's how the evolution of things have come. That's the reason why we have Beyonce now. That's the reason why we have Chris Brown and so forth and so on, because we had Marvin Gaye, and because we had Anita Baker, and because we had, and thankfully, a lot of these people genuinely are still around, because I looked at this, T, and it really hit home for me yesterday when I was talking to Big Said, and I said, yo, at this stage, just you alone, T, and the amount of people who you've lost from the Mount Vernon community.
Right.
And these are cats, like you said, that you went to high school with, you grew up with. So this ain't even, cats that you knew feloniously. These are dudes that you literally knew from grade school or, from high school on. That's happening at and not at a rapid pace. It's just, again, the journey of life. We're here 1 minute and we could be gone the next for a number of reasons. So I don't want anybody to sit here and think we talking morbid. I'm saying drink that in. Happy Days used to be a show that was everything to us. When's the last time y'all watched that episode of Happy Days? Bewitched. I mean, the list goes on and on. Now we have all these shows that they're saying are modern classics, the Martins, the Steve Harveys, the Cosby Show. The list goes on and on. But that's to show you that this is a constant evolving thing. So drink in, again, those moments. Don't allow this stuff to go beyond and past you because you were so stuck in, well, when this was out or when that was happening. Yes, those things have happened. And thankfully, you've been around to be witness or bear witness to it. But guess what? We're now in the AI technology era. We're now in a cloud era. I laugh all the time when I think about it, T. A playlist for us came only one or two ways. Either you taping off the radio or you putting a number of albums together and hoping that, the thing doesn't bother get messed up. You know what I'm saying? That was your playlist.
Well, you got to realize young ignorance and arrogance refuse to believe that you are a derivative of something. Like you think you the first coming of this, that, and the third. No, we had to get here. You're a derivative of, I've never been oblivious to that fact as a comic. 33 years of this shit, I've never, not 1 year, thought I was this Jesus Christ first coming of anything. I knew what I was coming behind. I knew the builders of my steps, openers of my doors, the finaglers of my foundation, and to this day. And that's why when you do interviews, the interviewer is remiss if they don't ask you that. Man, you good, man. Who you looked up to? You know what I mean? Like that's always you got any artist don't ever get that question. I question the questioner. Like if I think you're great at whatever it is you do, you could be a great football player, basketball, whatever. I want to know who inspired you though, because you nice. So who you looked at to get this nice? Now to your point about the All-Star, you didn't miss a motherfucking thing. I'm gonna tell you how bad it is. I'm gonna tell you how bad this shit was, man. The celebrity game Friday night. They should have took the word celebrity off the game, really. I think the name celebrity game was for Amir. You lucky if you knew three of these motherfuckers.
Wow.
On the court, right? Three of these, and even the football players, because football players wear helmets all the time. So you're lucky if you recognize and knew these people. And then after they say their names, you're kind of slowly getting in there. But every time the camera hit the sidelines, there's more celebrities on the fucking sidelines. I mean, if you throw these niggas on the court, we good. Then you send everybody on the sideline, chilling. Every fucking body's on the side, and niggas are playing are, this nigga had a social media page, or this nigga's a YouTube. I'm like, this is our game, bro. Like, what are y'all doing in here with this game? You know what I'm saying? So you didn't miss anything in the essence of the All-Star Weekend. The highlight I would have to say is Damian Lillard winning the 3-point contest. But okay, like to your point, I think the final score, my nigga, is like 200. Like we definitely got to get back to. I agree with what you said. That's when it was at, and that's probably why they're doing all this other extra shit. And a lot of people, because they're losing eyes. You're losing eyes on the shit. You understand what I'm saying? 211 to 186.
Come on. And you know what? Now, the one thing that I did see was that shootout with Steph Curry and the young lady from the WNBA. I thought that was fire, too.
I thought that was cool because they finally incorporated the two. You know what I mean? But I mean, the game itself, the celebrity game, even the dunk contest, and we've been talking about this for at least the last decade, how we grew up where our stars of the game participated. Yes. Dominique's in that shit. Jordan's in that shit. Kenny Skywalker's in that shit. Johnny Newman, all the stars of the game who did it in the game would go in there and showcase their talents. All these dudes in here, bro. I mean, no disrespect to the young guys coming up, but you have no veterans and no guys that's known for dunking in the game in the dunk contest. Loses a lot of oomph to it. And I'm just going to leave it like that. What's old is new, what's new is old. I know we went over. Once again, thank you guys for sitting with us. We splattered some things on the wall. Hopefully it stuck with some of you guys. Motivation Monday, -1 host, Shawn Harvey, is busy handling family business. We'll be back on the check-in next Monday. Shout out to Prophet Pete, holding shit down, super producer. You know what it is, man. It's Amir Sealy. It's your boy, Shawn Harvey. See y'all next Monday. We love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace!